I am Dr. Mark Chase. I'm an optometrist, and I practice optometry here in Cromwell at Family Eye Care and Contact Lens Center. We run the gamut every day, from routine eye care, people coming in because they might be thinking they need better glasses or contact lenses. They may also be coming in because they know they have a history of diabetes or high blood pressure, and their doctor, their primary care doctor, has told them, you might want to get your eyes checked because sometimes it can affect your vision. Diabetes is truly a disease that affects blood vessels in our body. As you know, it has to do with the inability of the body to use insulin to properly metabolize sugars. And the end result of this difficulty is that the blood vessel walls get weakened and therefore can leak unnaturally fluids into tissues, and it's the leakage of those fluids that create problems in the tissues, not remaining healthy. The eyeball is filled with blood vessels.
With all of the challenges that credit unions face in the 21st century, one of the most nagging and expensive problems to deal with are the seemingly unstoppable rising costs in employee benefit plans. We've got employee benefit obligations on average increasing by about 9 to 12% a year. How can we possibly keep pace with those rising costs when credit unions are limited by the types of investments they can utilize for their own account? One of the quote-unquote solutions we've seen credit unions try to utilize to help fight employee benefit costs, specifically with group health, for example, is to switch carriers every couple of years, shop around their insurance coverages. It's frustrating to employees, it's difficult to administer, it's not a long-term solution. By taking just a fraction of the credit union's available liquidity and investing it into Elite's managed money program, credit unions can capture potentially higher returns. Now, these returns can then be used to pay down current and future employee benefit costs. The bottom line savings can be pretty significant. The investments are long-term, but we've designed this program with an awareness that we need to be able to impact the bottom line today and apply it towards our program. You can save upwards of 10, 15. We've got a very distinct asset allocation philosophy and investment discipline that is keenly suited to the needs of credit unions. We've designed our program with a high awareness of what credit unions need from a risk tolerance standpoint, from a diversification standpoint, from a safety and soundness standpoint.
Polymers, we always think of it as something like this, the drink, but it's really, it's much more than that. And it's everything from the gaskets to keep your engine from leaking, to the stent that somebody's put in your heart when you've had a clogged artery and they want to keep it open, to the wing of an airplane.
Well, if you think about materials, the entire world is based upon making things out of materials, consuming materials. It's a necessity to have plastics and steel and concrete and clothing on the one hand. On the other hand, there's a growing number of concerns about health issues with certain types of materials.
Some of this, I mean, this is minor. If a drink cup fails, I go home, I need to change my shirt. If a stent valve fails, if a drug fails, if a polymer that's being used in an aerospace application fails, these are very, very bad things.
In the past 2 to 3 years, we have been developing a systematic program of change. Some of it has to do with creating solutions, where instead of selling just individual products, we're selling groups of products together to solve a particular problem.
The DSC 4000 that's used for quality control to make sure that the final product leaving a polymer plant meets spec.
What does it take to create the ideal environment for business? For the insurance and financial services industries, Connecticut has long been recognized as the place where talent, resources, innovation, commitment, and more all come together to encourage growth and prosperity. In fact, Connecticut has one of the highest concentrations of insurance and financial services jobs in the world.
Back in the 1800s, Hartford was known as the insurance capital of the country.
And over the years, the economy has expanded from really insurance-centric to insurance and financial services.
The insurance industry alone in Connecticut is responsible for 68,000 jobs, but in addition to that, it's created another 91,000 jobs in people that we need to support our industry.
Right now, about 17% of the state's gross state product, or the economic output of the state, comes from insurance and financial services industry, and that is by far #1 in the state.
The statistics alone are impressive. In Connecticut, the workforce for insurance and financial services totals 140,000.
Looking at any state in the U.S., our presence here is probably as deep as it is in any state, because all 3 of our businesses are represented here.
It's amazing what some people think.
They think we're contagious.
That's stupid.
People think that you can swallow your tongue during a seizure. Try it. It's impossible.
Kids even think that having epilepsy means you're retarded. That's ridiculous. Most kids with epilepsy have normal IQs.
I've even heard people say that epilepsy is a psychological problem. Epilepsy is a medical condition, not a mental condition.
I've heard people say that people with epilepsy look different.
Can you tell who has epilepsy here?
No!
Yeah! There we go!
My name is Sarah, I have epilepsy, and this is my story.
My name is Sterling, I have epilepsy, and this is my story.
My name is Byron, I have epilepsy, and this is my story.
My name is Katie, and this is my story.
Over the past year, it's been a very dynamic marketplace. Clearly, the challenges in the housing market have bled over into the financial industry, and we've learned how interconnected the world is, as well as different market segments. And we're certainly not immune to that. At the same time, during the same period, we've posted record numbers through the first 3 quarters of this year. And I think that's an important characteristic that shows the diversification of our end markets plays an important role in the durability of our business. And we've always been proud of the fact that we embrace globalization at Barnes Group.
I think one of our best defenses in terms of positioning ourselves as securely in this marketplace as possible is to embrace change.
Going to the strategic business unit management philosophy, we're going to have more responsiveness to not only our customer, but allow our employees to flourish within that environment so that they can be more creative in the way they approach the marketplace, as well as be able to be more productive in serving the market.
We treat the patient, the family, and everything else that surrounds that. The disease is just one piece of what we treat.
For more than 60 years, we've been connecting cancer research with treatment, reconnecting cancer patients with life. The first clinical use of chemotherapy as a cancer treatment was pioneered here. And today, Smilow Cancer Hospital works in close partnership with Yale Cancer Center, one of the original NCI-designated comprehensive cancer centers in the country. Smilow Cancer Hospital at Yale New Haven brings together all of the medical center's inpatient and outpatient cancer services under one roof, a 500,000 square foot world-class treatment center. This is the new face of cancer treatment. Smilow Cancer Hospital at Yale New Haven, the most comprehensive and patient-friendly cancer hospital in New England. 14 stories with a story on every floor.
I think opening Smilow and making it a place where patients feel incredibly cared for and where employees, the people who work here, find great satisfaction in their work. This work is not easy work. This is hard work. It's work which every day causes us to have to reach a little bit harder to provide the kind of support and care to patients and families that we want to be able to do. And if you're working like that, you want to do it in a place where the employees and the people who work here feel valued. And I think that's one of the things we want to try to create as a culture of what Smilow's like.
We come in all shapes and sizes.
We do what everybody else does.
My friends pretty much see me as just a regular person.
I'm just like you. Do you know what's totally messed up?
What's that?
When people judge other people.
Yeah. Who gets to decide who's cool and who's not? And on what basis?
The clothes you wear, the friends you have, the music you listen to.
But here's something that's even more lame.
People who judge other people just because they have a medical condition. They can't control that.
But it happens. Just ask any teen who has epilepsy.
It's really messed up.
It's really not right.
So when you get made fun of, you don't forget it.
Oh, the whole class just ganged up on me and they all just started laughing.
It really hurts if somebody judges you because you have epilepsy.
It's definitely not cool.
So how come some people act so weird about other people who just have a medical condition?
Obviously, they need to get the facts.
We're a great community. We have tremendous depth in our offerings here, and we send students out prepared to be lawyers.
The varied curriculum that we have, whether it's environmental, international, criminal, family, I think that's the draw of PACE.
And so they'll come from around the world because they like the location near New York City. They like the culture here on campus with the open doors and the faculty and staff who are out welcoming them all the time.
PACE Law School offers students a wide range of academic and practical hands-on experiences, and it's ideally situated between vibrant New York City, Long Island Sound, and the beautiful Hudson River Valley.
It's a nice mix of suburban and urban.
It's so close to the city.
I was able to walk to the train station in the morning and be in Midtown Manhattan in 30 minutes.
Which makes it really convenient for getting jobs in the city and getting internships during the school year in the city.
But you also have a wonderful legal community in Westchester County.
So anything you want to do, you're ideally located here in White Plains at Pace.
Really getting the best of both worlds.
What would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do if you saw somebody have an epileptic seizure?
If a person has had a seizure, they might have epilepsy. So would you know what to do?
Most people with epilepsy have it under control, but seizures are more common than you think.
Over the last 5 years, more than 3 million Americans have been treated for epilepsy.
About 8 or 9 out of 1,000 people have it.
In a stadium of 60,000 people, about 500 could have epilepsy.
So if you saw somebody have an epileptic seizure,
would you know how to react?
Would you know what to do?
Would you know how to help them?
We'll show you how, with some simple but effective first aid tips.
Hey, you can do this.
You can do this.
I know you can do this. Hi, my name is Tiki Barber. You probably know me for this. And now you also know me for this. But there's something you probably don't know about me. I had seizures until I was about 5 years old. Did I let it stand in my way? Not at all. Epilepsy doesn't have to stop anybody. You just have to know what it's all about, work around it, and keep going. And trust me, I know what it takes to keep going.
45, still going!
Okay, we're back on track. Now let's say this is you. You've got a lot going on. There's school with tests, assignments, projects, and all of that. And then you've got all the other stuff. Family, friends, sports, lessons, TV, web, and on and on. But your brain, my brain, anybody's brain can only hold so much stuff at any one time. So, how do we make sure we can get everything done and don't go around in circles? You get on track. Make a plan, get things done, and take a big load off the brain.
So, how do you get started? How do you make a plan? How do you get on track? Well, it starts right here. It starts with think. Think about your goals, your projects, your ideas. You think about what's important and you write it down. Right here in your agenda's think space. If you have a flash of brilliance, write it down. If you just want to make a note to yourself, write it down. Think is all about, well, collecting your thoughts about what you need to do right now and for your long-term goals. When your thoughts and actions align with your goals, you become a powerful force. You become who you've always wanted to be.
That went from an upper limit and back to nominal. We haven't had any consistent defects here. Good. When will you be going back in with the tool? We did get some releases from Brazil on this valve cap.
The gem manufacturing story began over 60 years ago.
My grandfather started the business up as an auto and truck engine repair shop.
Waterbury, Connecticut was a major manufacturing center.
He saw that as an opportunity and began to transform the business from strictly a machine rebuild shop to a job shop, a production shop.
A family tradition was established.
We're a family-owned business. My brother, Mark, and myself, we grew up in the plant.
We started out on the shop floor, worked our way up, and really learned the intricacies of how to make deep drawn product.
And what did you say, what's the cycle time for this and complete? OD and ID? About an hour. We make all the decisions here. We don't have higher corporate entities to report to.
We kind of pride ourselves on being easy to do business with.
The family approach extends throughout the company.
We're not all just co-workers, we're also friends. We care about each other, and that's very, very important to the culture of gem manufacturing. We have over 100 transfer presses out on the floor, ranging from 50-ton presses down to small, odd-sized presses.